Welcome everyone to our Sunday celebration on the channel. Today we pause to honor the incredible actors we've lost on this day, 21st May, 2025. Their work has left a lasting impact on cinema, and we are grateful for the memories they've given us through their remarkable performances. Our thoughts are with their families and fans as we remember their legacies. Before we dive into today's tribute, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Thank you for being part of this heartfelt moment. Let's begin. The connection between San Diego and LA and all the musicians that came up is a very interesting story, and I think it needs to be told that, quote, captures the essence of Chris Hager, a guitarist, storyteller, and key figure in West Coast rock history. Chris passed away at the age of 67 following a brief illness. His impact on music, especially the glam metal scene of the 1980s, continues to resonate. He began his journey in the mid-70s alongside Stephen Pearcy, eventually helping form Mickey Rat. The band would later evolve into the famous Rat, but Chris had already set his sights on new musical horizons. He wanted a more melodic sound and found it in Rough Cutt, replacing Jakey Lee on guitar. Chris brought power and precision to Rough Cutt's music. Their albums on Warner Bros. May not have topped charts, but they built a loyal fan base and became cult favorites. Chris remained a driving force through the band's early years and continued with them during their revival decades later. His playing was deeply influenced by icons like Alice Cooper, Black Sabbath and Deep Purple, but Chris didn't just play riffs. He built bridges between bands, scenes, and friendships that included staying close with Pearcy over the years, even crashing on his couch between gigs. For Chris, music was more than fame. It was about community collaboration and staying true to the art he gave his all. Whether it was performing in packed Sunset strip clubs or jamming with fellow musicians behind the scenes. Paul Shortino, fellow Rough Cutt member, said it best: Chris brought heart and soul to the band. He had a gritty tone and a gentle spirit that always came through on stage. Chris Hager's legacy is one of passion, perseverance, and strong roots that helped shape a generation of rock. He may be gone, but the sound he helped create will always live on. I would like to say that it is worth loving. If you are not loved, it is not important. What's important is when you love these words spoken by Divaldo Franco, reflected the way he lived his entire life, offering compassion without expectation and teaching peace in a world that deeply needed it. At the age of 98. Duval passed away peacefully at the Manon do Camino in Salvador after a courageous battle with cancer. His departure marked the end of one of the most dedicated lives the Spiritism world has ever known. From humble beginnings in Ferrari, Santana, Divaldo discovered his mediumship early on, gifts that would one day carry his voice across 5 continents. But even as his message spread far beyond Brazil, he remained grounded in service and love. Duval gave over 12,000 lectures and authored more than 250 books through mediumship. His works, sold in millions, were translated into many languages. Through his spirit collaborations, especially with Joanna Deans, he delivered teachings that bridged inner healing, spirituality, and psychology. His books still offer comfort and guidance to seekers around the globe. But Duvaldo's greatest masterpiece was perhaps not written in pages, but built in stone and soul. In 1952, together with Nilson de Souza Pereira, he co-founded Manon Camino. Since then, it has served over 33,000 at-risk children in adolescence, feeding, educating, and loving them fully. He donated all proceeds from his books to institutions like these, never asking anything in return. He was a champion for peace, even invited by the United Nations to promote harmony among faiths. His Peace in You movement brought hope to hungry communities in Brazil and later spread to Portugal, Spain, the US, and more. Author and friend José Raúl Teixeira once said, "Dado didn't just speak about light, he lived in it, and he shone it into every heart he met." Brilliant, humble, and tireless, Divaldo's light doesn't go out with his passing. It continues in his books, his institutions, and the generations of lives changed by his love. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Oscar Wilde's words echo in the story of LaTonya Potain, a woman whose journey touched hearts far beyond reality. Television. At just 40 years old, LaTonya passed away from congestive heart failure. Her final moments came peacefully, surrounded by loved ones who cared deeply for her. Despite her health battles, she faced life with honesty, vulnerability, and a fierce will to keep trying. LaTonya became widely known through her appearance on season 11 of TLC's My 600 Pound, Life. At the time, she weighed over 600 pounds and used a motorized wheelchair for basic mobility. Her motivation was deeply personal. She dreamed of walking down the aisle to marry the love of her life. Through her time on the show and her work with Dr. Nazarine, LaTonya gave millions an unfiltered view into the emotional and physical challenges of extreme obesity. She struggled with consistency and setbacks, but her transparency and determination left a lasting impression. Though she didn't meet her weight loss surgery goals during the show, LaTonya continued to update viewers after the cameras stopped rolling. Her openness about her ongoing efforts inspired many to reflect on their own health and inner strength. Her vulnerability was part of her gift. LaTonya didn't pretend to have all the answers. She simply invited others into her reality. That honesty made her more relatable than perfect transformation stories ever could. She had a beautiful heart, said one former crew member from the show. Even on tough days, she found a way to laugh or lift someone else up. LaTonya's life reminds us that progress is not always linear, and that bravery often looks like getting back up. Even after setbacks, she may not have reached all of her goals, but she did something even more important. She kept fighting, and in doing so, she gave hope to others. She leaves behind family, friends, and a devoted group of fans who admired her courage. There was never just one sound that defined McGaden. There were many. Each one spoke of innovation, soul, and a spirit that thrived on exploration. From his roots in Nashville to stages and studios around the world, Graydon helped shape the very blueprint of American music. Note by note, McGraden passed away peacefully at the age of 83. While the cause was not made public, those closest to him shared that he was surrounded by love. His departure marks the end of a remarkable era, but his influence continues to resonate as a guitarist. Graydon carved out his own voice, literally through his signature use of slide guitar with a wah-wah pedal. That distinct sound lit up J.J. Cale's hit Crazy Mama and countless other recordings. He wasn't just playing guitar, he was rewriting the rules of what the instrument could do. His band work with Area Code 615 and Barefoot Jerry changed perceptions of Nashville's sound, blending country rock and rhythm and blues into something fresh and exciting. But it wasn't all strings and solos. Gaydon's pen was just as powerful. He co-wrote Everlasting Love, a timeless anthem that topped charts across generations. Songs like She Shot a Hole in My Soul captured emotions that resonated deeply with listeners and still do behind the scenes. He worked with legends like Bob Dylan, Elvis Presley and Linda Ronstadt, elevating every project he touched. Mac wasn't just in the room. He brought warmth, curiosity, and encouragement. Young artists who crossed paths with him often left with more than advice. They left inspired. As president of Wild Child Records, he gave others a chance to shine, much like he had. Tributes from the music world describe Mac as generous with his talent and even more generous with his time. One friend reflected, Mac's fingerprint is on so many vital moments in music history. He was who you called when you wanted magic. He is survived by his family, friends, and countless fans who were moved by his music and heart. His story is sewn into the soundtrack of American music, and it will continue to play. Don't go away. Her voice lit up the room, but it was her heart that stayed with you. Clodagh Rogers, a beloved performer known for her warmth both on and off the screen, has passed away at the age of 78. She died peacefully after a 3-year battle with illness, surrounded by family. Born in Warren Point, Northern Ireland, Clodagh began singing at 15 and never looked back. Music was in her soul and she shared it generously with the world. Her big moment came in 1971 when she stepped into the global spotlight at the Eurovision Song Contest, facing intense scrutiny during a difficult time for Northern Irish artists. Clodagh fearlessly performed Jacking the Box in Dublin. The song soared to 4th place and climbed the UK charts, becoming her signature hit. Clodagh's career blossomed far beyond Eurovision. She graced TV screens for decades, starring in her own BBC series and lighting up shows like The Mo Cam and Wise Show and The Two Ronnies. Her charm made her the perfect choice as the face of Buy Besto Gravy, a role that endeared her to countless families across Britain. She also shone on stage, starring in London's Talk of the Town, the musical Blood Brothers, and sharing laughs in Cinderella beside Ronnie Corbett. Over 6 studio albums and multiple compilations, she showcased a voice so valued it was once insured for £1 million. Known not just for her talent, but for her resilience and kindness. Clodagh balanced stardom with motherhood. Her son Sam described her as the rock of this family, recalling a life full of love and happiness behind the curtain. She never stopped offering encouragement, laughter, and care to those around. Her fans, friends, and fellow stars filled social media with tributes, celebrating not only her contributions to music and TV, but also the warmth she brought to every room she didn't just perform, she connected. Clodagh leaves behind her sons Matt and Sam, and her siblings Lewis and Lavinia. Though the industry has lost a bright star, her songs, shows, and spirit continue to inspire. Giulietta Jogni will always remain an emblem of refinement, strength, and devotion to the Romanian artistic spirit, with grace and every gesture and wisdom behind each row. Giulietta Soni lit up the screen and stage for over 5 decades. She passed away at 75 following a brief illness, leaving behind a legacy few can match. Her path to stardom began with the unforgettable role of Otia in the beloved film Felix X Otia. Audiences across Romania were captivated by her portrayal of the intelligent and tender young woman from George Culinescu's classic novel. Just a few years later, she won hearts again as Ana Inue Pinzesus, an enduring television favourite watched by generations. Giulietta didn't just perform, she embodied the spirit of Romanian storytelling. She brought dignity, warmth, and emotional depth to every project, whether on film, on stage, or behind the scenes, guiding young actors with patience and care. Born in Timișoara, raised in Bucharest, she came from a deeply artistic family. Her love of the arts was evident from childhood, and she honed her talent at the Il Kral Institute of Theatre and Film. From the start, her natural ease on stage and quiet magnetism set her apart. She appeared in numerous films, including Ekaterina, Teoroiu Falan Sterul, and even returned to cinema in The Whistlers. But beyond her screen presence, it was her commitment to her craft, never rushed, always thoughtful, that made her stand tall among peers. After spending time abroad, she returned home ready to create, teach, and inspire once more. Those who worked with her speak of her calm presence, elegance, and willingness to uplift everyone around her. She is survived by her son, Alexandra, and her sister, Anca Shogi Tomas. Their loss is shared by an entire nation. Filmmakers, actors, and fans have joined in mourning. Each tribute echoes the same message. A legend of Romanian theatre and film has taken her final bow, but her spirit will remain in every role that inspired every performance. Remembered, her kindness, wisdom, and beautiful spirit touched everyone who knew her. These were the words shared by her son, and De Leon. As the world mourned the passing of Nora Aunor, beloved matriarch, celebrated artist, and a true icon to generations of Filipinos, Nora Aunor passed away peacefully at the age of 71 after a brief illness, leaving behind a towering legacy built over nearly 7 decades in film, television, and music. Hers is a story that began in Camarina Sea, selling water at the train station with a voice that captured hearts. She rose to fame in the 1960s as a young singer. What followed was a career that reshaped Philippine cinema. With over 200 roles to her name, Nora delivered some of the most unforgettable performances in film history. From the haunting stillness of Himala to the raw emotion of Bona and Minsay Isan Mugamo, she gave life to stories that mattered boldly, portraying the hopes and struggles of ordinary Filipinos. Her craft earned her more international Best Actress awards than any other Filipino actor, winning major prizes across 5 continents. She was inducted into multiple halls of fame and in 2022 named a National Artist for Film and Broadcast Arts, the highest honor for creatives in the Philippines. But the magic of Nora honor went beyond accolades. She was cherished for her humility, compassion, and fierce love for her country. On screen and off, she stood for truth, dignity, and resilience. Her influence can still be felt in every Filipino actor inspired by her work, every song that echoes her voice, and every person who saw themselves in the characters she played. She was not just part of our industry. She was its soul, said a fellow actor in a tribute shared online. To see her act was to witness a masterclass in truth. Nora is survived by her children who carry her warmth and wisdom with them, as tributes continue to pour in. Her story remains one of perseverance, brilliance, and a deep connection to the Filipino spirit. His voice and his soul will echo wherever Portuguese music is celebrated. Nuno Guerreiro leaves behind a legacy of emotion, courage, and unmatched vocal artistry. At just 52, he passed away suddenly in his hometown of Luli, leaving a void in hearts across Portugal and beyond. From the moment Carlos Paredes discovered his soaring voice during a rehearsal in Lisbon, Nuno's path was set. That moment sparked a journey that touched audiences for more than 3 decades. As the iconic voice of Alamos Namorado, Nuno shaped the sound of a generation. His countertenor register was both delicate and powerful, giving unforgettable life to songs like Salta Seu Bejo and Lucio de Lisboa. Trained in classical singing and grounded in his love for pop, soul and rhythm and blues, he had a voice that defied categories and reached straight to the heart. In 1999, he recorded the beautiful Carta de Amor, featuring international classics like Amazing Grace. His solo album Trento Saber followed, affirming his unique place in Portuguese music. Beyond the stage, Nuno was known for his warmth, honesty, and quiet strength. He spoke openly about personal challenges and stood as one of the earliest openly gay figures in the Portuguese music scene. His bravery touched many and inspired countless others to live with authenticity. Even in his final months, he remained devoted to his art, rehearsing, performing, and connecting with fans. His unexpected passing came as a shock to all tributes poured in from across the cultural world. Musicians, friends, and fans mourned the loss of someone who didn't just perform songs, he lived them. Singer and friend Paulo Gonzo shared Nuno Sang with his soul. He gave everything in every note. That's why we'll never forget him. Nuno Guerreiro is survived by those who loved him and by the many who were moved by his music. Though he's gone too soon, his voice continues on recordings, in memories and in every heart he touched. Some people play the game, others change it. That's how many in the golf world remember Jay Siegel, a man whose quiet leadership and remarkable achievements left a lasting impression on and off the course. Jay Siegel passed away peacefully at the age of 80 after a brief illness. His loss is deeply felt, not only in golf, but by countless friends, family, and lives. He touched through decades of service and skill. Hailing from Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, Jay's golf journey began early, but blazed brightly through his amateur years. He captured 2 straight US amateur titles and a British amateur championship, becoming the only golfer to win both the US amateur and mid-amateur in the same year. His record Pennsylvania amateur wins remain unmatched. Jay represented the US with pride, playing on 9 Walker Cup teams and helping 4 Eisenhower Trophy teams to victory. Even after turning professional at 50, he never slowed down on the Champions Tour. He notched 8 wins and finished in the money in all 28 events early in his professional run, amassing over $9 million in earnings. But Jay's legacy isn't measured only in trophies. He mentored young athletes, promoted access to golf for underprivileged youth, and led with humility. He was the heart behind the first TE of Greater Philadelphia and gave tirelessly to the community he loved. One of his proudest efforts began in 1992 with the Jay Siegel Invitational, a charity golf event honoring his late father. Over 3 decades, it raised more than $4.5 million for cancer research. His peers admired not just his game, but his grit and goodness. In the words of a fellow golfer, Jay brought grace and purpose to everything he did. He was a quiet giant. Jay is survived by his beloved wife Betty and daughters Jennifer, Amy, and Megan. While the details for his memorial have yet to be shared, his memory is already held dearly by many. Jay Siegel reminded us that greatness isn't just about winning, it's about lifting others. Along the way, his story is a testament to hard work, compassion, and the enduring spirit of the game. He never gave up, no matter how tough the road ahead, said a teammate when describing Barry Hoban, a true giant of British cycling whose legacy stretches far beyond the finish line. Barry Hoban has passed away at the age of 85 after a short illness. His loss is deeply felt across the cycling world, rising from the streets of Wakefield. Hoban became a pioneer for British raids on the international stage. He built a remarkable 19-year career that saw him achieve what few could during a time when British cycling was still finding its place. He won 8 stages of the Tour de France, a British record that stood for decades. He was the first Briton to win back-to-back Tour stages and the first to triumph on a mountain stage, changing what was thought possible for riders from the UK. Barry also won 2 stages at the Vuelta a España and claimed Britain's one and only victory in the famed Gent-Wevelgem Classic. Outpacing legends like Eddie Marks, he consistently proved his strength in the toughest races. Finishing most of the tours, he entered 11 out of 12, setting a new standard for endurance. When racing Paris-Roubaix, one of cycling's most brutal events, he finished 3rd. He later called that ride his proudest day in the saddle. But Barry Hoyne's story is more than race results. He was known for his humility, fierce determination, and the calm strength he offered those around him. After the tragic death of fellow Brit Tom Simpson in 1967, Hoban captured a Tour stage win just days later, an emotional tribute that spoke volumes about his courage and heart. Many younger British cyclists credit Horne as a role model who paved the way. His grit, professionalism, and quiet leadership helped form the bedrock of Britain's later successes in the sport. Following the news of his passing, tributes came from across the globe. British cycling called him a trailblazer, former teammates recalled. A man who never complained, gave everything, and made the impossible seem reachable. Barry Hoban is survived by his family who request privacy. At this time, his name remains etched in the history of the sport, etched in the hearts of those he inspired. Noreen Young, CM, was a multifaceted contributor to Canadian culture, whose pioneering work in puppetry and children's television left a lasting mark on generations of viewers. Born in Almonte, Ontario, Young's creative spirit blossomed early, leading her to study art at the Ontario College of Art and Design. She would go on to reimagine puppetry using sculpted liquid latex to craft animated, lifelike characters that captured hearts and sparked imaginations. Young's television career began in Ottawa, with beloved programs such as Hi Diddly Day and Pencil Box. Her puppets soon appeared across Canadian screens on shows like Today's Special and Telefran, but her most iconic contribution came with the creation of Under the Umbrella Tree, a show she produced and starred in as Gloria, the gopher. Airing on CBC and Disney Channel from 1987 to 1993, the series blended education and entertainment, becoming a cherished part of many childhoods. Her creativity wasn't limited to children's programming. Young crafted satirical caricature puppets of notable figures like Adrienne Clarkson and Don Cherry, bringing both whimsy and commentary to her art. She was also a passionate advocate for community arts, founding the Puppets Festival in her hometown to celebrate the craft she loved. In 1995, Young was appointed a member of the Order of Canada, a testament to her influential role in enriching Canadian media and education. She remained an active voice in the arts well into her later years, mentoring emerging puppeteers and promoting cultural initiatives. Noreen Young passed away in April 2025 at the age of 85. Her legacy lives on in the characters she created, the children she inspired, and the artistic traditions she championed. Clint Eastwood, an iconic figure in Hollywood, is not only known for his extensive career in film, but also for his tenure as the former mayor of Carmel by the Sea, California. Born on May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, Eastwood has had a profound impact on both the entertainment industry and local politics. Over the span of several decades, he has gained international fame as an actor, director, and producer, with numerous awards to his name, including 4 Academy Awards and 4 Golden Globe Awards. Eastwood's journey to fame began in the 1950s when he landed a role in the television series Rawhide, 1959 to 1965. However, it was his portrayal of the gritty anti-hero in Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, 1964 to 1966, that cemented his status as a leading man in Hollywood. Eastwood's stoic demeanor and his ability to convey depth with minimal dialogue became his signature style, making him a standout in the genre of spaghetti westerns. The success of films like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966, propelled him into stardom, and he soon became synonymous with tough, morally complex characters. In addition to his western roles, Eastwood's portrayal of Dirty Harry in the 1971 film of the same name further solidified his place in cinematic history. The role of the relentless, no-nonsense San Francisco police inspector resonated with audiences and spawned multiple sequels. The character's iconic line, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" became legendary in popular culture. Not content with just acting, Eastwood expanded into directing and producing, where he excelled as well. His directorial efforts in films like Unforgiven, 1992, $1 Million Baby, 2004, and American Sniper, 2014, earned him widespread critical acclaim. Known for his understated and efficient directing style, Eastwood often focuses on human stories, exploring complex themes of morality, redemption, and perseverance. In 1986, Eastwood made a surprising move when he ran for and was elected as the mayor of Carmel by the Sea, a small town in California where he had long been a resident. His campaign focused on environmental conservation and simplifying the town's strict building regulations. He won the election with over 70% of the vote and served a 2-year term. During his tenure, he successfully worked on initiatives to improve the community, including restoring the Carmel Mission and building a library annex. Eastwood's mayoral stint was short, but he left a lasting impact on the town, proving that his leadership abilities extended beyond film sets. Despite his age, Clint Eastwood continues to work in the film industry, both in front of and behind the camera. In recent years, he has directed and starred in several critically acclaimed films, including Gran Torino, 2008, The Mule, 2018, and Cry Macho, 2021. His work ethic and dedication to storytelling remain as strong as ever, making him one of the most enduring figures in Hollywood. Over the years, Eastwood has dealt with several health challenges. In 1979, while filming Escape from Alcatraz, he sustained a significant injury that affected his left shoulder, which required extensive physical therapy. In addition, he has faced cardiovascular issues, having survived a plane crash in 1951, which nearly took his life. Though he has experienced health complications related to his heart over the years, Eastwood has maintained a healthy lifestyle, often speaking about the importance of fitness and nutrition in his daily routine. There have been false rumors circulating in recent times about Clint Eastwood's death, but these are unfounded. At the age of 94, Eastwood remains alive and continues to make significant contributions to both cinema and society. He is a true Hollywood legend whose legacy continues to inspire filmmakers and actors around the world.